Now I want to tell you a story about a guy named Claude. Not Klaus, but Claude. Claude, he thought of himself as a good man. He was a good man because he provided for his family. Put a roof over their head. Put food on the table. Made sure they were clothed. Had good education. So he was a good man. He took care of his family. But if you talk to his kids and his wife, they say, well, yeah, he did give us all that stuff, but Claude never was around. See, Claude dwelt in darkness, literally. During the day, he was miles deep in the earth, shoveling coal out of the earth in the hills of Kentucky. And there, when you come out of the ground, more than likely the sun was always set, and all he knew was darkness, that kind of darkness. So he never really knew his kids, but he loved them. He loved his wife. And then his daughter, 22 years old, has a baby. Now Claude, his 44, looked more like he's 55. And his wife said, Claude, I'm going to tell you right now, you get to the hospital and you go visit your daughter and your grandbaby, or it's going to be frozen dinners from here on out. Claude said, no, you're kidding. I don't like hospitals. You know I don't want Claude, frozen dinners here on out. So reluctantly, Claude goes off to the hospital. And there's his daughter, brand new grandbaby girl. And she says, here, Daddy, hold your granddaughter. And Claude freaks out. He's never held a baby before. No, they're like poison. He's afraid something will happen if he touches this baby. And he holds his hands out like this, says, no, no. And right when he does that, that little baby girl reached out and grabbed his finger. And in that moment, it was like an electric charge went right through Claude. And from a deep place, a tremendous regret welled up. A remembrance of all that he had missed. If he had only been there 22 years ago, that might have been his daughter grabbing his finger. But then, almost instantaneously, as that regret, from an even deeper place, a warm light began to fill him up. He began to see the world in a new way. This wasn't something dangerous in front of him. This was new life. This was potential. This was his grandchild. And he goes from this to give me my granddaughter. And in that moment, Claude changed. In that moment, Claude knew nativity. Now, you go down on Broadway, right? Times Square. You can see that the atheists trying to rile up everybody that believes. Got a big sign that says, Jesus is a myth. Well, yes, Jesus is the most powerful myth that this world has ever encountered. Because Jesus has the ability, when we hear that story, and when that story reaches out and touches us and grabs us, has the ability to take us out of darkness. Bring us into light. Bring me into light. Help me to recognize in the face of my child, there's unrequited love. Unconditional love. In the face of other human beings, that same love exists too. Although often we're just too afraid, much like Claude was afraid of that baby, to let that love loose. Nativity happens when that light wells up in us. Yeah, Jesus is a myth. Tonight, we're going to come to this table. Nativity's going to happen again. God bless you. Nativity's going to happen again as we make the cradle to receive the body of Christ. And as we take into ourselves that light, may we have the courage to let it well up from the deepest parts of our being. And we can go out that door and shine like this star and be nativity in this world.